Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support what's going on here while getting amazing perks like the Discord community, have me play your deck, and my list and sideboard guides before tournaments, join the Patreon or YouTube membership. This channel is made possible by these amazing sponsors. Check them out and support them. Their links are in the video description. Thanks again for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, there's a special challenge in play. Patreon subscriber Derek has challenged both me and ThrabenU, Phil Gallagher, over at YouTube/ThrabenU, to build our best deck that contains Mycosynth Gardens and Phyrexian Dreadnought. Phil and I have both been given this challenge, and there is a sweet, sweet $20 bill up for grabs for whichever one of us performs better with our build of Gardens Dreadnought. The stipulation was that we had to have 4 of each of those 2 cards, and the rest go nuts. Phil and I coordinated this, so his video will be up the same day as mine. I think he releases an hour or 2 later than I do. Perfect timing to watch mine, then go watch his. I don't know what Phil's build is, but I do know that he recorded it yesterday, and he talked a little trash in our chat saying that his league was awesome. I don't know if that means his brew was spicy or if he did extremely well with it, or both, but I'm hoping to do one up and get that sweet, sweet cash prize. As for my build here, I put a ton of work into a bunch of different versions of this. I had a standstill version, I had a mono brown Mystic Forge combo version, there was a blue-white Stoneblade version briefly. Lots of different builds with Urza Saga. I tried to think of a prison version that had like Sphere of Resistance in it. But at the end of the day, I decided to just go as efficient as possible. And rather than using Mycosynth Gardens as a multiple different option modal, could be a prison piece, could be a threat, could be mana, whatever I need, I decided to just make it more Dreadnoughts. There's not a single artifact in this deck to copy except for the Phyrexian Dreadnought itself. I even cut the Scroll of Fate from previous builds of this deck because I don't think we need it anymore. I think Gardens replaces it. And that gives us the Bug Tempo Dreadnought deck that I've played a couple times on the channel before. I trophied with one of the outings with it. And it now has 4, 7, 10, 12 ways to enable a Dreadnought, plus the 4 Dreadnoughts itself. And it has reasonable game plan besides. It's also an Uro deck. Stifle dovetails with Uro nicely. You can stifle your Uro into play, and you don't have to sacrifice the front half. Uro builds out mana, including making your Mycosynth Gardens land drop, so you can have a bigger Dreadnought turn when it's time to do that. Dress Down and Stifle just line up well against the initiative format anyway. Snuff Out as well. Great efficient card for the initiative format. I don't really like black as a core color right now in Legacy, but poking through with a Thoughtseize if you're planning to end the game with 12 or 24 power in short order is still as good as it's ever been. Lazav can become Uro or Dreadnought, or both. In a previous league with this, I turned it into Uro pre-combat, attacked, got the Uro trigger, and then after they blocked, flipped it into Dreadnought and trampled over for lethal. Crazy stuff that Lazav can do in this deck. And in a recent video with Greater Good Dreadnought, a league that I also trophied, by the way, Phyrexian Dreadnought and I have a good history of earning trophies together. Minor Misstep was one of the best cards. I put it as a 1-of in that deck, and it's as a 2-of here. If your job is to resolve a 1-mana 12/12, the cards that you're worried about early on in the game are Swords to Plowshares, Prismatic Ending. Maybe someone will try to Spell Pierce your Stifle or something, but in general, most of the answers that arrive quick enough to deal with a Dreadnought get hit by Minor Misstep. Excited to play with that one alongside my good friend Dreadnought. And the Mycosynth Gardens just replaced 4 Wastelands in my previous builds of this deck. So there's no tax on the colored sources. Super technically speaking, Mycosynth Gardens can be a colored source. So I'm actually up on colored sources in my 3-color deck. I am down on Wasteland, which is kind of a bummer. That does weaken the tempo Tarmogoyf part of the deck. But I think it'll be okay, because now we have more Dreadnoughts to play with. Lots of cute ideas kicking around in my head, but I'm just here to bash I'm going to punch a hole, and I'm going to hit my opponent for 12 or 24 damage once the hole is open. That's the plan. Let's go do this thing. Hey everybody, Brian from the future here. I've already recorded this entire league, and I was just returning my order to Card Hoarder and realized that I played the entire league with a 14-card sideboard. I had 3 Plague Engineers from a previous build of this and decided that's not really where the format is, and I'd play something higher impact, and then just forgot to replace the card. Already boding well for this league. Anyway, enjoy this 74 card Phyrexian Dreadnought Brew. Off we go. I'm on the play in round 1. I've got a nice Thoughtseize into turn 2 play, even have Force backup if I need it. Let's go. Don't currently have an enabler for Dreadnought. I mean, I have Lazav, but not a upfront enabler for Dreadnought. The cool thing is this deck plays so many of them that I'm not even worried about it. I'm going to Underground Sea Thoughtseize here. Okay, we're playing against Shadow with 2 Shadows, Force Will, Brainstorm. Hope he didn't need that Brainstorm because it's gone. Okay, they're a long way off of playing these Shadows. Oh no, they drew a card. Or are they just fetching now to play around Stifle? Oh, they drew their own Thoughtseize. Alright, that's fine. They can't take Tarmogoyf and Lazav, and I'm happy with either. They probably take Lazav, though. That's what I would do. Because Goyf is eventually smaller than Death Shadow. Ah, that was such a good draw. I'm on tilt. Not really, but I feel it in my bones. They took Lazav. Now I just need to rip a Stifle and shove Dreadnought into play. Snuff out. Yeah, that'll find targets in this matchup. Tropical Island, Tarmogoyf. I'll put it into play while I know it's good. They don't have a blue card. I know every card in their hand right now. The bad news is I can't make soft little Tarmogoyf pokes, because if my attack isn't lethal, it results in a Death Shadow, but they can fetch Shock and play a 1/1 Shadow this turn anyway. That Thoughtseize was such a good draw. Turn on these awful Shadows in their hand. Here they are. Now they're good. Okay, I need Stifle right now. Okay, the wheels are coming off here. I was very excited at the start, and sometimes one good draw is all it takes to flip a game of Magic. If they snuff out me here, I'm just dead. Ponder, we know Force of Will, Underground Sea still in their hands, so we have perfect information currently. Snuff out is a stone blank in my hand, and the best card they could draw, which they did. And that's probably the end of this game. I could draw Stifle or Dress Down still, and continue playing here. Oh right, they can fetch Shock and put me to 2. Oh no, this is lethal. Alright, yeah, whatever, sure. I cannot do anything. Just freaking dead. Remember when we looked at their hand and it had no good cards in it, and then we died immediately? Good game. Veil of Summer and Plague Engineer I like. Plague Engineer has Death Touch, and it's black, so it's hard for their deck to remove, and I can just put it in front of Death Shadow. Snuff out sucks. They probably have some number of Murktide Regent. Minor Misstep is good here. I don't know that I want Run Afoul in my deck. I actually can't remove a Murktide Regent with what's going on right now. I can overpower it with Dreadnought. I have 2 forces that could contest with it. I could bring in my Run Afoul or leave in a Snuff Out for that. I don't think I want to do any of that, though. Yeah, I'm going to run this version on the play. Okay, this is a turn 3 Dreadnought with no real interaction. They do have a Brainstorm and Uro. I'll try it. Just going to play my land and pass. Yeah, their Snuff Out can kill Dreadnought. This is a tough matchup. Gotta hope Uro does stuff. Yeah, they just shocked in and passed. I'll draw for my turn. Found the fetch land I was looking for. That's good news. Brainstorm. The only thing I'd want to Brainstorm into right now is Thoughtseize. I could wait till they do something and Brainstorm. See if I want to hide cards with it. Yeah, I'm just going to wait on that. Ponder. Okay. They did not shuffle, and they're passing the turn. I'm going to Brainstorm the end step. I'd like to find some kind of disruption here, whether it's Misstep or Flusterstorm, Thoughtseize, like literally anything. Am I getting misstepped? What's going on here? Sure. I don't even mind that. I'm just going to Uro this turn anyway. They fetch for Underground Sea. Play my Gardens. Play Uro. And then Uro land lets me play Ponder, unless they counter the Uro. Found a Dress Down. Now I got gas for days. And Force of Will or backup Dress Down. I can put Force of Will in my hand with backup Dress Down under it. That gives me Force Blue card and still a Dreadnought next turn. Ponder from the opponent. They chose to shuffle and then pass the turn. Cool. I'm a mana short of making a second Dreadnought right away. So I think I just want to Dress Down to shove my Dreadnought with Force backup. The card on top of my deck is Abrupt Decay. So if this goes poorly, I have some interaction. Dress Down. And Phyrexian Dreadnought. I'm leaving up green, make them think about Veil of Summer. They have a Dreadnought in play. They have Snuff Out. They have 5 cards in their hand still. I could force this, or I could fight it with the next round. I guess I signed up to force this, so I will. This is the play that I played too. Second Snuff Out, sure. Okay. I am now in the goop. Yeah, with 1 more mana, I could have copied it in response to the first Snuff Out, forced the second one. They have that covered. And they didn't Murktide me. Ooh, another Dreadnought. Cool. I think I want to just Abrupt Decay. And I'll let them make decisions. Like, they're going to have a Death Shadow. Like, if they fetch Shock here or do something that reduces their life total. Okay. They didn't do any of that. I'll just kill this thing. Reanimate, sure. Now they have a 7/7. Yeah, I can put Plague Engineer in front of this. I think all of this, I think Plague Engineering is better than committing to a Dreadnought, which would cost me a bunch of cards if they have the blowout. I'm going to name Rogue with Plague Engineer in case they have Brazen Borrower or True Name Nemesis. But I'm just going to trade my Death Touch creature for their big creature. That's plan A with this thing. Sudden Edict, sure, okay. That is a significant amount of my life total gone. But they're down to 2 cards in hand. They can attack me for 10 with what I can see right now. I would love to find the mana source to just put Uro in front of this thing for a turn or 2. Build up some options. A Ponder. If I Ponder, I can still Dreadnought. But I might find something better also. I'm going to start with Ponder. I hope they force this. Yeah, cool. Okay. And then Tarmogoyf, not big enough. Dreadnought might be big enough. Dreadnought, get in there. Important to note that the Garden's Dreadnought is tapped, so it can't block, which means that I want to sack the Garden Dreadnought to keep the normal Dreadnought alive. You get a tapped one without Summoning Sickness or an untapped one with Summoning Sickness. And my deck doesn't play untap effects, so let's just hope they don't have a hard cast Snuff Out right here. Yeah, pass the turn. Another Gardens. That can become another Dreadnought if I need it. A Bash. They have to block. They go to 1. Oh, right. I needed to put all the damage on Death Shadow, didn't I? Wow, that sucks. I might lose right now because I forgot how the rules work. Yeah, the Shadow, the same damage that puts them to 1 makes Shadow a 12, and I've just punted. I needed to put all 12 on the Shadow. Damn it! Alright, I had this game and threw it. Ah! Those are the rules. That is how this works. And this Dreadnought is tapped, so it can't block. Yeah, GG. I just messed it up at the end. If you've ever wanted to learn how to play poker, there's no better way than PokerCoaching.com's Master the Fundamentals course, which I'm excited to give all of you for free. This course is separated into 19 short sections that will make sure you understand everything you need to know to play well and beat your friends. The first section is on the rules of the game, then you'll learn about hand ranges, equity, basic strategies, and a whole lot more. By the end of the course, you'll know everything you need to know in order to give you the best chance of success at No Limit Hold'em. Check out the link in the video description to PokerCoaching.com/free crash course. I'm on the play for round 2 with a Stifle start. I'm going to keep this. I need a threat, but I have a lot of answers here. Opponent mulled to 6. I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs because it's not a blue fetch. I don't know, maybe that'll throw them off the scent of Stifle, though most people don't play around Stifle these days. Just Polluted Delta, go. We got some more interaction here. We're in an old school Stifle standstill. Wasteland, alright. Snuff out. I'll play the Bayou. If this gets wasted, it's not a big deal. Wasteland, I'll float green and then just let this die. Cool. We're gonna get our Stifle after all. Underground Sea, Stifle your fetch. Force of Negation pitching Daze. I will Force of Will pitching Dress Down. And you will not enjoy this land. And I could cycle Dress Down right now while I have mana floating, but I think Dress Down is better as Dress Down than as a random card. Yeah! Okay. They scooped to the old Stifle special. We saw Force of Negation, Daze, Wasteland. That almost feels like Delver, but Force of Negation I don't think is normally in Delver decks. And Daze is not in control decks. It's some kind of blue Wasteland deck, though, that thinks it can recoup enough cards to play more than 4 forces, while being fast enough to justify Daze. Cephalid Breakfast doesn't play Wasteland. Not really sure what this is. I'm going to treat it like it's Delver, I guess. Or it could be some sort of Stoneblade. Maybe Stoneblade is the thing that's in the middle of those two strategies. I don't know. I'm going to bring in Run Afoul and a Veil of Summer over 2 forces and call it a day with the information that I have. Okay, force blue card with a Dreadnought. I'm going to keep Island go. I'll put the Fear of Stifle in them again. Instep Brainstorm. Okay. Don't think this would be a combo deck, which are the decks that normally instep Brainstorm. Interesting. I played against Mono Blue Delver recently. Is it possible there's 2 people doing that in the world? I don't know. I'm going to play my other polluted Delta, and I'll go for an end step Dress Down, and then I have Force Blue card and Minor Misstep to protect my Dreadnought. So we have seen Daze if I just want to wait. Guess we'll see what they do this turn. Yeah, I'm going to fetch in the end step and see what happens here. See if I get stifled back. You are a stifle deck. Alright, I'll fetch in response. Please don't have 2 of these. Okay. Tropical Island comes in. I'm going to Minor Misstep their Stifle. Daze. Okay. I could force to have all my mana up, or I could just resolve Lazav this turn and chill. Okay, I'll let them have their Stifle. I have a land in my hand. Lazav has card selection attached. That could be worse. This does look like Mono Blue Delver, though, now that we've seen more cards. Okay, Lazav, get in there. Mystical Dispute. Is it time to fight? They have 3 unknown cards in their hand. Basic Island and 3 mystery cards. I don't think so. And I'm still holding Uro and Dreadnought with an Enabler. If they start wasting my mana out from under me, that kind of sucks, but otherwise, I don't mind this position too much. If they're setting up a Murktide, that is a card that I'm a little concerned about. Ponder chose to shuffle. Oh, you're this too. That's fun. Non-token artifact you control. Disappointing. Yeah, I'm going to force the slip. Pitching Uro. And your Dreadnought dies. Cool. Alright. It is a Dreadnought Mirror. If they had Daze, they would have cast it. So I'm going to put my Dreadnought into play right now. This deck could be full of bounce spells, but I've deployed my thing. Mono Blue Dreadnought. Okay. Yeah, there's a Petty Theft. Unfortunately, my Gardens is tapped. I couldn't make another one in response. And Murktide Regent is also in your deck. Confirmed. Got it. Understood. Thoughtseize. I think my Snuff Outs are all still in the deck. I have the Run Afoul in. I could dig here with Ponder. Oh yeah, well, I should probably Brainstorm because Thoughtseize, they're Hellbent. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm and try to find an answer to Murktide rather than just shove a 12-12 in. Okay, easy game. Get rid of Thoughtseize and put Ponder on top. And now I can make Dreadnought and kill their Murktide. Kill Murktide and play Dreadnought. And once again, I will keep the untapped one and then pass the turn. They are drawing off the top here, but Mono Blue is full of bounce. They polluted Delta, and they did run it out. They could have Mystic Sanctuary. That's probably pretty free in a mono blue deck. And that at least gives them a Brainstorm for next turn. I'll ponder here. I know Thoughtseize is on top. Okay, sick. That's exactly what I wanted out of my life. Backup Dreadnought if they answer the first one. And a removal spell underneath it. Let's go. And I think it's better to just wait and not just shove a second Dreadnought. I don't know if they have like Hurkyl's Recall or something that can answer 2 things. But I don't want to just hang myself out there. I'm going to make them find the bounce spell. I'm going to make them use it. And then I'm going to make a copy. They put Brainstorm on top with Mystic Sanctuary as predicted. And we won the match. Cool. Similar deck ideas here, but I had more colors, better ways to interact, and on to the next one. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play in round 3, old Thoughtseize Tarmogoyf like it's modern from 2010. Let's go. Hey, what are you working with over there? This Thoughtseize is my only interaction this turn. Let's hope it works. Okay, you are a combo deck. It looks like probably Doomsday. And then you have Duress and Thoughtseize. Would I rather reduce their life total or guarantee that Tarmogoyf is in my hand? I'm actually going to take their Thoughtseize because I think Tarmogoyf can put real pressure on them if they Duress me. And I can't take them off discard entirely. And then Flusterstorm and Dress Down are both good against Doomsday. Basic Island Preordain. Okay, so they're getting set up here. This could be Ad Nauseam Tendrils, but I think keeping a hand like this is more likely with Doomsday. Got both cards on top. Hate that. Tarmogoyf, begin the crunching. If they are Doomsday and they play Daze, it would set them back a land to deal with this, which I don't mind in this spot. If their Preordained found Dark Ritual Doomsday, then good job. Here's that Brainstorm we saw. Are we going to see the Duress now, or did you find a Dark Ritual? There's the Duress. Both of these cards are annoying for them, but I suspect Flusterstorm will be worse. Yep. And if they're Storm, then they don't care about Dress Down at all. Force of Will. Okay. I could just bash for 3, leave my mana up. I could cast this Ponder, try to hit a land drop. But I don't actually want to use Ponder to find a land. I want to use Ponder to find spells, and then I can just play on the lands I have while poking with Goyf. We know one more card, it's the Ponder. And there is that Ponder. Them Duressing me last turn, me drawing 1 card, and it being Force of Will is a huge advantage right now if they are some kind of all-in deck. Did not shuffle. They have another land. And I'm just going to let them pass the turn. Abrupt Decay is probably a blank in this matchup. But who knows? Maybe they are still Storm. Maybe I can Abrupt Decay a Wishclaw Talisman or something. And that grows my Goyf. This just looks like Doomsday on every measure, though. Another Brainstorm. Reducing this life total on another land. Down to 10. If they Doomsday, they go to 5. A Volcanic Island. Sometimes Doomsday just has a red splash. Or maybe they just tip that there's something else. Bottom that Preordain. That's good stuff. They've got so many cards. Did not shuffle that one. Mycosynth Gardens. Okay. I would like to play around Daze, or I could Ponder and see what happens. If I Ponder, I'm looking for Thoughtseize, I guess. If I play out this Gardens, it just gives away that I'm a Dreadnought deck, or at least that there's more going on. But I think actually playing out the game that I'm playing is more important than worrying about information for next game. They have to win this turn because Tarmogoyf is lethal if they Doomsday. I could just play Dress Down in response to Thoughtseize. They go to 5, Tarmogoyf becomes a 4 power. Or I could Force of Will. I'm going to Force Pitching Ponder. Because Force Pitching Ponder, now they have to get through this Doomsday that they know about. Oh, they are a Wishclaw Talisman deck. Okay. Well, I might just die here. Okay, thinking they're at 7. If I dress down now I know it's not a good card. That'll put an enchantment in the graveyard, and I have to do it in their main phase because I can't have Tarmogoyf being a 0/0 on their turn, or on my turn, or a 0/1. And that would put enchantment in the graveyard. When I Abrupt Decay their Wishclaw, they can't remove it, or they can't use it in response. Okay, I'm going to go for a dress down right now, which might be risky or might be fine. Okay, it's fine. It just died. I got my cycle. Tarmogoyf is 4/5. I can make it 5 and destroy Wishclaw here. Even if I Uro and it hits the land, that's still only 6 on Tarmogoyf. Okay, Abrupt Decay this Wishclaw right now while everybody's sleepy. And I'll put you to 2. Okay, here we are. Naws is off. Fast and Flames is kind of medium, unless they have a handful of gas here. I did play this whole game like they were Doomsday, and they turned out to be Storm after all, so if they have a juke at the end, they got me. Okay, 1 card left in their hand. Yep, dead. If I had let Thoughtseize resolve last turn, then they would have been at 5 going into my turn, and they probably take the Force of Will anyway. But not knowing my hand, or if they had all this with the Wishclaw, they would have known to just shove through. Okay, I'm dead. Oh wait, I should have dressed down in response to Fast and Flames. All right, now they're dressing me. I'm gonna shamefully dress down now if it's Force of Will. I'm gonna be embarrassed. Flusterstorm, okay. They have me deterministically dead here. Okay, bummer. Collector Oof, Veil of Summer, Surgical Extraction for Ad Nauseam Tendrils, Forceful Negation, Snuff Out comes out, Thoughtseize, Stifle, all still good, Minor Misstep, Flusterstorm, all great. Dress Down is awkward because this card is not good in the matchup, but it does turn on my Dreadnought. I think I just have too much that I need to make room for. I still have Stifles, Gardens, and Lazav for Dreadnought. Not dying is more important than executing specifically the thing I want to do. Shave a Goyf and probably shave an Abrupt Decay. Okay, here I go, like this. I'm gonna keep my hand, and I have Thoughtseize. The old Thoughtseize Tarmogoyf Nut Draw. Unfortunately, I would have to fetch Bayou. That's actually not even that bad. Bayou, Thoughtseize. I'm going to actually be using the filter on Mycosynth Gardens to cast Ponder in the near future, unless I find something else. Okay, they have a quick Shieldred. I don't really want that to happen, but this Infernal Tutor is also scary. I'll just take Shieldred. I don't want to play against that. Preordain off of Scalding Tarn. They top-bottomed. Okay, cool. Now I can make additional decisions. I think I'd rather shove a threat right now, while I think their hand is kind of soft. I'll get Underground Sea and play Goyf, and then next turn I'll use Ponder to try to turtle up, and if they threaded the needle on a unprotected win this turn, then they got me. Scalding Tarn, Preordain, bottomed, another Preordain, top, okay. That Preordain went from 0 to hero. Minor Misstep is good. The Bayou is messing me up. I'm going to Ponder, though. I'd love to find a discard spell and really see what they're going. Collector Oof is even better. Veil of Summer is really good, too. There's a lot of good hits here. Stifle, I am pretty interested in. I'll put Force of Negation 2 down. Or, no, I'll just draw that next. Yeah, so I have Stifle or Minor Misstep available going into this turn. And a single Thoughtseize doesn't take me off interaction. Not going to counter Ponder. If I get one more untap, I'm representing Minor Misstep, Stifle, and Force of Negation on their turn. Ponder did not shuffle. Fetchland shuffles the Ponder for them. Infernal Tutor. Okay, a down and dirty Infernal Tutor. Showing me Duress, so you have 2 Duresses in your hand. Through force. I knew that was there. So they can duress me twice, but I have 3 pieces of interaction. I'm going to misstep the first duress. Or does this just build storm and they don't care? Maybe they won't recognize that I can make blue off of gardens. And... oh no. Oh, okay, sure. Brainstorm, I was like, oh no. Am I getting flusterstormed? This is a card sometimes Ad Nauseam Tendrils plays. Okay, that's countered. Found a land. Here's the other duress. Do I want to force this? And I think I do. I'm going to force this, hiding the Stifle. And hope that Stifle lines up against whatever their final push is. 4/5 Goyf. Deck for 4. And then play another Goyf. And I will represent Forest Blue card. They're dead on board. I guess I didn't need to represent anything, so yeah, if they have it here, they just win. They're at 5. They have a clean route to Pass in Flames if they have it. I don't think they would have used that Infernal Tutor so long ago if they didn't have another. And there's the Infernal Tutor for the Past in Flames. Storm is 5. They only needed to be 8. 6, the Tutor, the Tendrils is exactly enough. All right. Yeah, I don't know that my read in game 1 really cost me anything. I was playing like they could kill me at any time and leaving up my interaction. They just had a lot of discard spells to get through it. And then game 2, yeah, I had 3 pieces of interaction. Then they cast 3 discard spells. The deck is built really well on the back of black-based disruption. Didn't find a Veil of Summer, and they were able to get through all my pieces here. Once again, the turn before they were dead. GG's. Next round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw against I Would Like to Respond, who is legacy player Marcus Ewald in real life. I've played many of his decks on this channel. I am going to keep my hand. Marcus could be doing anything. He likes High Tide, but he's also a Stoneforge Mystic gamer, a Doomsday. His range is enormous. So, I don't know. I'm just going to keep my hand with lands and spells and hope that it lines up. Brainstorm from the opponent. And an island and a ponder. Okay. I might do a rare end-step Brainstorm here because I don't really like the composition of my hand right now, and I would like to change it quickly. I don't want to make Mycosynth Gardens as my second land drop and just give up the whole game right away. Oh god. Alright, well. That wasn't good. If I put back Dress Down and Uro... I can't Uro for 2 turns anyway. I guess I'll put back Uro and Dress Down in the other order. Didn't like that. I can't Snuff Out without a Swamp. I guess I'll try to hold up Dress Down and Stifle and interact for another turn. Baleful Strix. I'm going to Dress Down that. I'm not really doing anything better, and this gives me a card and denies him a card. Ooh, we're going to fight over this. Oh, fetching a white in response. We're not going to fight over this. Okay, that puts the Uro in my hand, and now I'm drawing wild again. I'm gonna Brainstorm here. This hand needs more help than Tarmogoyf can offer. Come on, you shithead. Okay, Snuff Out and Uro can go back. I'm not playing either of those for a while. And I guess I'm just gonna Thoughtseize. Garden's filtering a color. It's not pretty, but it works. And I do suspect Cephalid Breakfast at this point. No. Forest pitching Baleful Strix. Okay. I will pass the turn and hope I'm not dead. Phyrexian Tower, my goodness. What is that doing? We're just jamming Shouldered into play? I don't even know what's going on right now. Oh, it's probably an Academy Rector deck. That's what's happening. Yeah, this has to be some kind of Esper Rector pile, which is a deck I've played on the channel, if you want to check that sort of thing out. It uses either Academy or Arena Rector to put big stupid things into play before it's supposed to, and it's all tucked into an Esper control shell. It's pretty cool. Oh, yep, there's Arena Rector. And hope you don't have a sack outlet before my Stifle comes online. Guess I'm just passing here. I have Flusterstorm and Stifle to try to stop a giant planeswalker from coming into play right now. There's no way to dress down to make this stop. Ball therapy, huh? Shit. That gives you multiple sack outlets. I'm gonna let it resolve. If he has the read on Stifle, which he probably will because he's a good legacy player. Yep, there it goes. And now I'm just freaking dead. If either of these gardens was a normal card, a normal land, I could have dressed down in response to therapy. And then they have to decide if they want Rector to have abilities this turn. Yeah, now I'm dead. Okay, which one is it? If we're talking about Bug Dreadnought, just as a deck outside of this Brew challenge, I would have been much happier with Wastelands this game than these gardens. Oh god. Never even seen this card. It has Hexproof. Each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life. Well, can't beat that. Draw 2 cards, then each opponent may scry 1. Okay. Exile target creature enchantment. If it wasn't an aura, create a token that's a copy of it, except as a 1/1 white spirit with flying. Okay. I would like to scry 1, yes. Get this snuff out of here. This Kaya is unbeatable. I'm going to end step a dress down here. Not that I have high hopes for my life or my existence at all. Okay, I can shove 2 Tarmogoyfs into play. I have to fetch Bayou if I'm going to do that. Or do I even want black mana? It does cast Lazav. Alright, I'll filter into Lazav if I need it. I just don't want to Bayou. Fear my 0/1 Tarmogoyfs. Okay, could answer one of them. My only hope here was to overwhelm Kaya with multiple creatures, which... Now, oh, you just have a Fistful of Plows. Okay, okay. Didn't even need to use Kaya. You just keep drawing cards off that one. Cool. A Planeswalker with Hexproof is bullshit. You draw 2 cards. Each opponent may scry 1. Yep, that's totally fair. I mean, I'm not sure why I get to do anything. This is a rare 7-mana Planeswalker. Like, why doesn't it just draw 2 cards? I guess 0 to draw 2 cards is pretty fucked up. All right, we're cool. I'm good. Yeah, stumbling. Our development being stymied by this land that is not very good when you're not doing your thing was a problem there. I like Veil of Summer. I like Surgical Extraction. I don't like Snuff Out. I'm not going to kill your Rectors for you. If they pivot onto Mentor, that's kind of a beating. But I'm going to run it like this. On the play with a Stifle and a Veil. I'll keep this. And I have lands that tap for real mana. He's not going to fetch into Stifle, he knows better. Both predicted I'd have the card and then named it correctly off Cabal Therapy, which is just unreasonable. Too tight. I'm going to Brainstorm in the end step if I can get away with it. Brainstorm. You're also brainstorming. Go for it. Okay, I am going to Stifle you. I'll find other ways to set up this Dreadnought. It's fine. Try to counter that. Brainstorm. What do you got for me? Ways to set up Dreadnought. I'll take them. Okay, Lazav can surveil Dreadnought into the graveyard if I just want it there. Lazav is my blue card. Yeah, I'm going to put Dreadnought and Gardens on top in that order. And draw for turn. Drop Lazav. Surveil into the graveyard. Opponent's deck is full of white mana and white removal, so I don't have high hopes for this, but okay. No! Innocent Blood? That's what you had? And Veil of Summer doesn't stop this, but it could cantrip into a blue card. I don't know my top card right now. I'm gonna Veil. Gotta spike a blue card. Got there. Alright, let's see me get blown out now by any... Oh, wait, I have Veil up, so you can't counter this back. Brainstorm. And we go to my turn. Minor Misstep kind of rules. I'm gonna copy Dreadnought and attack. I can Veil of Summer to protect. I can Minor Misstep, or I can just make a second Dreadnought. I could do any 2 of those things. Minor Misstep. That card's real good. Okay, so now I'm probably going to get plowed on my turn. That's the sequencing that just lined up there. Like, he knew I could make a second Dreadnought, and then just didn't do that. Okay, I'm going to attack with my Dreadnought, probably get Swords to Plowshared. I'll make a second Dreadnought in response. And play Lazav. This is currently an artifact. Oh shit, it's a legendary Lazav. It keeps its name. That's awkward. Alright, that means I can't cast Lazav in my hand either. Yeah, that is Lazav the Multifarious, named, or that is a Phyrexian Dreadnought named Lazav the Multifarious. Weird. I would have liked that 12 life, but I guess if I knew that was going to happen... No. Alright, opponent just asked if the CMC of this is 1 now, and yes it is. But I can turn it into a 2, so I hope he endings for 1. Okay, he asked in the chat, does that cost 1 now? I said yes. He said thanks, tapped a white, and then said, oh, but you could swap it. Correct. And Prismatic Ending says X or less, so it's not like Engineer Explosives where I can go wherever you're not. Like, I can actually. Come on with this. Okay, so we know he's got a Prismatic Ending, and the third Innocent Blood, looking pretty good. Elful Strix, okay. And presumably Prismatic Ending in hand. Either that or I'm getting just masterfully baited here. Yeah, I'm gonna ponder first. Okay, Dress Down gives me Dreadnought and Lazav next turn. Okay, I'm gonna put Dress Down in hand and pass. In for 1 with Strix. Damage is happening. Ball Therapy will veil that. Not interested. That slows down my Dress Down, and if he just goes Rector Flashback right now, that would wreck me. Luckily that didn't happen. Drawing another Dress Down here. And I'm gonna pass the turn. Just play that turn cycle over again. I don't think he would blind name Cabal Therapy, or with Dress Down with Cabal Therapy. And Stifle is probably the thing you go for. But if Therapy is the sack outlet for the creature, then that doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to Dress Down in response to this. I'll at least buy myself a turn. Ooh, okay, that was a great one. Now I wish I hadn't done that. Wait, but then I wouldn't have it. None of that made sense. Okay, I can Dress Down, play Dreadnought, play Lazav. Or no, that's a 5-mana play. I cannot do all of those things. I can Dress Down Dreadnought. Or I could just Lazav and hold up Dress Down. Yeah, I think I want a Lazav. And I want to fetch first. Get another Underground Sea. In case I surveilled on the top, I don't want to have to shovel that card away. Another Dress Down on top. Okay, so I can... Or another Dreadnought. There's already one of those in the graveyard. Dress Down into double Dreadnought next turn will overwhelm the last card in hand, which I have suspected the whole game is Prismatic Ending, unless I've just been masterfully misled. Alright, it was the ending. I was not lied to. You attack first, even if you are going to Planeswalker this turn. In the end step, it's time to go crazy. Dress Down. Draws another Dreadnought. Opponent has 1 card in hand, and it's the card that he drew this turn. Hope it's not a good one. Phyrexian Dreadnought on the stack. And Phyrexian Dreadnought on the stack. Off we go. Pass the turn. Surgical up to stop me from getting Rectored. Ball Therapy. Shit, having 2 of those is actually a huge problem. I don't think he's going to name Surgical. Probably Stifle again. Yeah, Stifle was named. And now if he therapies me again, sacking a Strix, I can exile the other therapy with Surgical, and then his last card in hand has to be a sack outlet to win. The reason Surgical works, by the way, if you're not familiar, is when a Rector dies, you may exile it. If you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card. So there is a requirement after it dies. It's not just a dies trigger. Okay. And he knows about this, so it must have either a counterspell or another thing to do here. Or was just checking if I knew this. Brainstorm's last card in hand. Void Rend, Teferi, Kaya, Ashiok. It's actually pretty light. It's mostly all in on Kaya as the biggest Planeswalker that it messes with. What can Brainstorm do this turn? Nothing. Or Brainstorm hits Teferi draws Plow. Okay, I mean, we're not out of this. Or do you even want to discard the Uro or leave it in my hand? I think the play was use Baleful Strix to strip the Surgical, then try to Brainstorm. That gives you all your sack outlets as outs, as well as anything that like the Teferi or removal that Brainstorm might find. All right, therapying yourself now. Are we just styling? Swords of Plowshares. All right, found one. Okay, cool. Navigated that one. Now he knows about Surgical. That was so many innocent bloods. Do I just put in my Plague Engineers? I can name Bird, which messes up Baleful Strix, and it pads out my creature count. I think Veil of Summer's fine. Force of Will might be medium, though. I mean, through all the discard spells and stuff, yeah, maybe it's better to play to the board or play to the graveyard hate than have all these forces around. He does play 2 Teferis, which is a card that I mostly can't beat once it's in play. Maybe a Force is better than a Fluster. I'll do it this way. I have more forces in my deck than he has Teferis. That's what I'm going to count on. I'm going to send a no-lander. Very sad. I'm going to keep this 2-lander. And I think that Plague Engineer is the worst card in this hand. Tundra and a pass. If this Mycosynth Gardens was Wasteland, I would snap it off here. Love to find a Dreadnought. Hey! Remember when I said I'd love to find a Dreadnought, and then I immediately did? Pay me. Please don't cast Teferi. Ashiok. Is that better or worse than Teferi? I mean, that messes up Lazav pretty good. I could just go in on this Dreadnought, but there's so much removal in the deck. Maybe I just have to force this. And the static and the minus are both bad for me, so it's not like I can let it resolve and just stifle the activation. I'm going to force pitching Lazav. I would lose Lazav anyway if this resolved. I don't know if that made sense, but I hope it did. And I'm going to Tropical Island, Dress Down, another Gardens. That's actually pretty good. Oh, interesting. Okay, I will use Gardens, and then I can play Dreadnought, and then I can make another Dreadnought if I want to. Or I can Stifle. I don't know what 4-mana thing he would do here, so I'm gonna not Stifle that. Magic Ending, I'll make another one. If he has another removal spell, then I lose a land. But if he doesn't, I have a 12/12. This is what the deck's supposed to do. Void Rant. Okay. At least it's not Teferi. Jeez. All right. Yeah. Not Teferi is a deal for me. And then Tarmogoyf, get in there. Now that the graveyards are juicy, we've got a 5/6 boy here. Rector. Damn near killed her. All right. So if I attack, he's going to read Stifle, and I'm fine with that. The hero move would, like, a cool thing is, even if I don't have Stifle, like, we're both good enough players that maybe I attack bluffing Stifle or Surgical, and maybe he reads it's a bluff. But it's cool that I have 2 different things that can stop that and make that attack make sense. Uh-oh. A double block is a problem, though. Or I could just assign all the damage to one of the blockers. Oh, yes, please attack, please attack, please attack. Bummer. Okay, now I need to figure out something else. Minor misstep. That's actually pretty bad for me. All right. I'm gonna keep selling this. All right, he bid on that one. And I will Stifle that. This one is now a problem. A sack outlet, and I'm dead. Got another one. Okay. Dress Down doesn't work here either because that makes my Mycosynth 0/1 and I just lose combat. I can't, like, turn off Rector after they've committed to a block. I would love a Brainstorm here. In Dreadnought, I can put this thing into play. Opponent's at 14. That's not enough to get through. I'm going to play my land and just pass now. Unfortunately, The flip side of being aggressive early is now I've just told him I'm out of interaction for this. Innocent Blood. I have a counterspell for that. Please play Strix. Does Void Run destroy? Oh no, uncounterable. Maybe I was supposed to put my Dreadnought into play. Now I have to deal with this Kaya, which can kill my Tarmogoyf. Okay, 1/1 White Spirit, flying Tarmogoyf. Okay. Yeah, Kaya's ability overwrites Tarmogoyf's ability, so it's at least it's not a base 1/1 with all the text of Tarmogoyf. That's a relief. Okay, deck, how about a good card? That's a good card. Give me some Uro all the time, every time. Okay. Each opponent loses 3 light. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna Uro. And I'm gonna leave up the possibility of Dreadnoughting. If I hit a land, I'm going for the Dreadnought. Cool. Underground Sea, and I guess I can get Bayou at this point. Phyrexian Dreadnought, copy it. I know they can just kill it with Kaya, but I don't care. That would remove the Kaya if they do that. And Uro's chilling in the graveyard. F6. Yeah, they're just trying to deck full of removal. I don't need another Uro. Maybe just miss and die? How about that? Miss and die is what I want from my opponent right now. Brainstorm. Casual 7 cards in hand. Swords of Plowshares. And Baleful Strix. Okay, Uro has to win this game now. I think 3 of my Dreadnoughts are genuinely in exile. Or, okay, it's only 2. There are 2 left. One of them was a Lazav at the time that it died. Okay, Uro with Flusterstorm backup. Green, green, blue, blue. Leaving up green because Veil of Summer does stop Kaya. Alright, how about Veil of Summer for the blowout? Bummer. Hit the Thoughtseize instead. The problem was I couldn't leave up Bayou for Thoughtseize or Veil and blue. Like, I had to pick between Thoughtseize or Veil being the draw. They can exile my Uro or just play Frigga Caracas. Great. Alright, well, basically out of win cons here. Tropical Island to the bottom. Gotta find those last 2 Dreadnoughts before it's too late. Cabal Therapy can strip the Uro, and then they can also flashback Rector, get a second Planeswalker in the mix here. The Ashiok's already gone, but Teferi's a problem too. Okay, I'm deceased. Really cool deck. Disappointed to run into it. Well, Phil, I can now 2-3 at best. Negative record guaranteed in the league. Disappointing. You're probably getting that sweet, sweet $20. We do have a final round to play, though. Lesson so far is Tarmogoyf has been pretty bad. Which, I mean, we know Tarmogoyf isn't the legacy staple it once was, but I wonder if there's a better card I could be playing there, whether it's more interaction, more Uros. I couldn't think of an artifact creature that would be fun to copy. I did put some effort into that, but like Baleful Strix, ETB trigger, you don't get that if you copy it with Gardens. I'm in the wrong colors to play something cool like Esper Sentinel. I don't know, let's go play that last round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw in the final round against an opponent who kept 7. I'm going to keep mine as well. Hope Stifle's good in this matchup, because I have a bunch of them. Pass a turn, pass a turn. Bummer. Underground Sea. Ponder. It's another combo deck. Ponder did not shuffle. So holding up Flusterstorm or Stifle against a suspected combo deck feels pretty good. I'm going to pass with just my mana up. Mike's in the Garden, again, looking pretty bad. If this was any blue source, I would feel incredible. Duress, I'm going to fluster that. Combo deck confirmed. One of the big things that I talked about one of the times that I played this list in the past is how incredibly it shits on Doomsday. I think everything that puts a Dreadnought into play stops an Oracle win. I guess with Gardens, we can't say everything anymore, but Stifle and Dress Down both do it. and you're already playing a bunch of efficient interaction to get your combo through, which also happens to fight their combo extremely well. Cabalrit, Doomsday resolves. Can't do anything about that. I think I should dress down in the end step, even though that is an answer for Oracle. I would rather find a second blue source and have up 2 stifles next turn. Or any source turns the garden into a blue source. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the 2 draws at a mana source rather than try to dress down on the following turn. Because I need a land to turn on dress down plus stifle, and a land turns on the second stifle, and they both beat Oracle. Doomsday has resolved. What do we got in here? Oh, they're cycling Street Wraith right now. Are they going to try to win right now, or just hit a land drop? Wow. Do I dress down then if they're doing stuff right now? Right now while they don't have a land. Do they have a Force of Will? Force of Will, 1, 2, 3. I'll look again. I only see 2 forces right now. Or I only see 3 forces. So they probably have one, which means might as well fire this now. Because if they draw into the Force of Will down the chain, okay, this resolved. Now if Force of Will is somewhere in their pile, it's not helpful. LED, Lotus Petal, and pass the turn. You love to see it. And I did find the land, so I have double Stifle, which beats 1 Force of Will all day. And it's also entirely possible that this LED did not arrive when they wanted to, and now they have to draw a card that they weren't expecting to have in their hand with LED in play. Also, LED doesn't work with Force of Will, so either I saw something wrong or their pile doesn't work. Okay, Brainstorm now with the last 3 cards in their deck. They get to repile their deck, effectively. Yeah. Okay. A well-timed dress down made the Doomsday weird. This is all I want in life. Veil of Summer comes in. Force of Negation comes in. Snuff Out comes out. Abrupt Decay comes out. I don't really like Surgical, but it's not nothing. It can scramble up a Doomsday pile, or if I get through the first Doomsday, I can take the rest of them. Yeah, I don't really have to beat this deck, I just have to not lose to it. I'm going to cut 2 Tarmogoyfs. That has been consistently the worst card the whole time. I will bring in my Surgicals. I'm a Thoughtseize deck if I can clip a Doomsday and then remove them all. I like that line. Force blue card. My deck can do a lot better than this, but I'm going to keep. Okay, Thoughtseize. Immediately lose my Force blue card, but that's okay. I have a ton of great draws here. I played to a world where I have them available. Just drawing a Stifle here or a Fluster or whatever. Surgical doesn't quite do it, but it's not bad. Okay, Polluted Delta fetch. Ponder, okay. They do have Doomsday here. It is off Dark Ritual. They could put Doomsday on top of their deck, cycle something, and in response crack LED. That is a route to 3 black if they're feeling confident. Okay, found myself a Ponder. I'm going to cast that card. I'll get Tropical Island to do it. I will play out my land in case they daze, because I do want this cantrip. Thoughtseize. This is exactly that thing that I was talking about. Unfortunately, I can't play around daze here, but I am going to jam. Tell me your thoughts. Hope they don't have daze in them. Ball Ritual, or multiple rituals and Consider. I'll take the Consider, I guess. Not the dream I was hoping for there. But their hand doesn't keep going if they find Doomsday here. They are just all in on this thing. Okay. Their hand is Cavern Cabal Ritual. And I can scramble up the Doomsday with Surgical if I want to. And all of the control that they had over this game is in the Doomsday pile. There's no Brainstorm, there's no cycle effects, there's nothing to kickstart it. I'm drawing wild, I did just shuffle. I have a draw step plus an Uro trigger that can see 2 cards with 1 mana still available. Okay, so scramble the Doomsday pile, draw 2 cards. Well, draw 2 cards first, then scramble the Doomsday pile. If I draw dress down, then I obviously don't scramble, or I don't Uro. And I think it's better to scramble the Doomsday pile before they draw any of the cards. Like if they put a Cycler on top, and I let them commit to the cycle before scrambling the Doomsday, then maybe they draw Oracle and they're just stuck with it with LED in hand and can't clear the rest of the pile. But if they put Brainstorm on top, then they see 75% of their deck anyway and might be able to just create the pile that they wanted the first time. They could make a double Oracle pile if their list has two of them, the Heir and the Spare. All the forces are out of the deck. There is an Oracle in exile, so they probably do have a double Oracle pile, unless they just full pivoted onto Emrakul, which I don't have a lot of great answers to. Looted Delta. I'm going to use Verdant Catacombs. I'm just going to clear a non-helpful land out of the deck. I guess I should Surgical now, see what their pile actually is. Okay, so it's Brainstorm, Edge of Autumn, Relic, Thoughtseize, Oracle. That's a pretty good pile. Yeah, there's a Thoughtseize in the mix somewhere. Okay. Uro. Hope that it finds good cards in the correct order. All right, I did find a Stifle. Now I gotta hope they draw the Oracle before they draw the Thoughtseize. Okay, they're just passing the turn, not even playing out the Cavern. I will draw for my turn. Didn't really want that, but I can escape Uro with it. Green, green, blue, blue. This does put a real clock on the board. Okay, I will pass the turn and hope they're dead. Like, I hope I see Relic here. I think I just stifled this, because the Thoughtseize is in there somewhere. If they get deep enough into their deck, then they can push through the Stifle. Right now, Oracle isn't lethal. Okay, I'm going to put them to 2 and draw at least 2 cards this turn, plus whatever Brainstorm does. Attack. I'd love to find a Dress Down. I don't think they can beat that. They're at 2. Brainstorm. Let's do something here. Find Dress Down. Stifle and Minor Misstep. Great. That counters the Thoughtseize and then stifles the Oracle. And we're chilling. Okay, pass the turn. I guess they could just shove Oracle. Oh no, the Stifle for that. It doesn't matter if there's 2 cards in their deck or 0. Okay, time to deploy Cavern of Souls. Relic of Progenitus. I don't care about that. You're already dead. They exiled Edge of Autumn from their own graveyard, playing around Endurance, I guess. They can sack LED. That discards their hand. They just lost the Thoughtseize. They could draw with Relic. And if this is the Oracle, I have the Stifle. All right, and they are hellbent. But I have Captain Stifle here. And that'll do. Okay. Good to know this deck still farms Doomsday. I did punt that first matchup against Death Shadow by forgetting how the trample rules work specifically in that spot. Storm just picked us apart, and the combo control deck with the Rectors also just picked us apart. We had a lot of tools for that Rector matchup, but the third Rector was too much. As far as this deck goes, I don't recommend playing this. This is not the best shelf for Mycosynth Gardens. We did shove Dreadnought early and often, ended up with multiples a number of times. That was pretty cool, but I think that this kind of tempo bug shell really wants Wasteland and Daze in it. And if you're playing Gardens, then you don't have room for those 2 cards. Gardens kind of wants to be, I think, in a bigger, slower deck. Some kind of Urza Saga deck that lets it leverage copying other cool artifacts. Like if you get a second currency converter or a second retrofitter foundry, maybe that's a way to go. I'm really intrigued by the idea of turtling up behind many Sphere of Resistances. Like you get one of them in play, then start copying it, and then Urza Saga can put Dreadnought into play, then you could copy that with future Gardens. That deck can also main deck Torpor Orb. That's a cool thing. If I know Phil at all, he probably wants some sort of Stompy Prison direction with it. When I was brewing this, I tried to work on a Painter build. The problem is that the brew challenge was 4 of each, and Painter, I'd probably want like 1 or 2 Dreadnoughts as a side plan through Urza Saga and 3 or 4 Gardens, not 4 of each. Honestly, that's how I feel about Gardens overall, having played with the card a couple times now. I don't think this is a 4 of in most decks. It's probably a 2 of for when it comes up, but generally you don't want to make it your plan. It's just a cool thing that enhances a plan tucked within your mana base, but 4 colorless lands is tough. Anyway, negative record. Could have been a 3-2 with tighter play. Well, we had another game against Death Shadow. I don't know that. We could have taken one of those losses to a game 3. Phil, congrats on your $20, probably. Good chance you did better than this. I'll be watching that video later today. I hope everyone else goes and checks it out too. Derek, thank you for this challenge. It was a lot of fun. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.